Khan, Shalom. First of all, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakadash, Yahweh who the wordingly calls God, Yahweh Shai who the wordingly calls Jesus. I want to give a double honor to the apostles of great millstones telling this truth. I want to give a peace and blessings to the Akim across the four corners of the earth who teach this truth for risk their life to do so. It's going to be a quick video. Lord, the video is edifying. Only I can get something from this video. A quick video, man. I'm going to read in First Maccabees and kind of get some, go into a little bit about what Antiochus did. And just so Jake can understand the savagery of this devil, man. Okay? But give me 1 second, I came up with a shot. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna get kind of what was going on at the time, and a couple things which the scriptures clearly state what the dude was doing. You know what I mean, and what his men ultimately were doing to our people. Okay, the Southern Kingdom. You know what I mean, but because we were the majority in the land at that time. We understand that the Northern Kingdom, was the first out the land. They got taken underneath the Assyrian captivity. You know what I'm saying? So, what he did to the Southern Kingdom was vicious. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, with Esau and all the rest of the heathen, but, Esau mainly, because this nigga is the wicked of the wicked. What he did to our people from, Judah down to Gad, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, we've been, as a people, we've been oppressed. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, Judah oppressed. So like, yeah, oppressed. Together. Where was this? The scripture. Give me 1 second. Bear with me, brothers. Together. Yeah, here it go. Jeremiah 50 and 33. As a matter of fact. Yeah, I can actually start up on this. Let me get this. This is Jeremiah 50 and 29. It says, "Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her. For she hath been proud against the Lord Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel." Right, and that Babylon is talking about America, right? And those bows, that are going to be shot upon this place is thermonuclear missiles, which all these nations are going to shoot upon this place. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the ultimate judgment of, Esau's kingdom, which is America. Okay, Esau's rulership, or so-called rulership, right? Because he's in power right now. Okay, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So it's a wicked vibration going on throughout the earth. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at America, man, this is where they go down at. This is where the wicked of the wicked, this is where all the bullshit happened. This is where all the wicked sacrifices, all the, sacrifices to idols and things of that, whatever, man. On the left, all the wicked and evil shit on the left-hand side that they do, man, they go down. This is where it go down at. Even things we don't know. Okay, and look how America is running. Look at the influence that America has had over the world. You know what I'm saying? The world, hey, when America got spotlight and power, the world became more wicked. You know what I'm saying? Like the influence of America comes from or the influence of America is wickedness. Okay, but it's a judgment for that. Okay, 30, it says, "Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, said the Lord Yahweh. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. Okay? The Lord is going to visit this place. Okay? The scriptures talk about said perils, right? Those said perils is judgments, man. Okay? It says 32, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. When you go to what is that, Baruch? Matter of fact, let me see something real quick. And the GNT, I believe it's say it in the GNT. Let me see. Do we have it? Yeah, we do. Notice we don't have first or second Esdras in the GNT Bible app, which is weird. I don't even think there's nowhere in here. Let me see. Again, there's nowhere in there. But Baruch is, let's get it. Baruch. We're going to go down to about the 24th verse. Let me see something real quick. Let me see. Just rejoice, took delight in ruin. Where is it at? Misery shall come, mystery and misery. Okay, let's read it. This is Baruch 4:30. It says, take courage in the GNT. It says, take courage, Jerusalem. The Most High who gave you your name will now bring comfort to you. Misery will come to those who mistreated you, and then rejoice when you fell. And all the nations mistreated us and rejoiced when we fell, and capitalized off of it. It says, misery will come to those cities that made your children slaves. And Jacob's captive, where we're at. We understand the main showdown in the main captive place is America. You know what I'm saying? But wherever Jake is at, because we're spread across the four corners of the earth, which is a curse. You know what I'm saying? But wherever we're at, we're captive. Okay, this is misery will be the fate. And then ultimately we're captive because the heathen is ruling. Okay? It says misery will be the fate of Babylon, that city which swallowed up your children. Talking about America. Okay, that same she, right? It says, just as that city rejoiced when you fell and took delight in your ruin, so now she, will mourn when she herself is deserted. I will turn her proud boastings into mourning and take away her large population in which she took pride. Wow. It says, I, the eternal power, will send down fire on her, and it will burn for many days. Her ruins will be haunted by demons for a long time to come. When you go to Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah 13, if I'm not mistaken, it goes into, this place being, inhabited. It says inhabited of devils for a great time. But there's going to be ultimately a place where it's going to be no man's land. But you'll have certain creatures and things of the nature that might pass by here and all that stuff. But as far as having a population of men or women, it's going to be no longer. This place is going to be judged in a way that the world has never seen. It's going to outdo ancient Egypt. Okay, the scriptures say that. The delivery from this modern day Egypt, also known as Babylon, also known as Sodom, right, has many spiritual names because it represents these different places, right? The deliverance out of this place is going to trump the deliverance out of ancient Egypt. Okay, scriptures say that. Okay, right, but this place ultimately is going to be destroyed by way of fire. Okay, and you might ask yourself, well, why? Well, look who's ruling. Look at the wickedness this place has done. Look what it did to the Lord's people, man. Hey, man. Look how it was built. A madman has did this shit, man. Okay, a wicked. When you look at the history of this man, bro, a madman has been in charge and been in rule and did things to us that you can't even fucking stomach, man. It's a judgment for that, man. See? Let me get this, man. Slacking. Let me get this. It's Jeremiah 50 and slack, man. I kind of got hot, but this is Jeremiah 50 and 32. It says, "And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in the cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts: the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Right, both the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom was oppressed together. That was my point of bringing this out. You know what I'm saying? Because earlier I said, I mentioned us being the majority in the land at that time. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, all the tribes were oppressed together. Okay? It says, and all that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go. When you look at, what the conquistadors when they came to the Americas, they came to Mexico. You saw what they did to Issachar, man. You saw what they did to the Northern Kingdom. When you go into certain games that they played and certain things, when you go into the history is gruel, man. It's fucking, like, you would think it was a nightmare. You would think these people are literal monsters, man, the way they did things, man. Okay? But let's go. Let's get a couple scriptures here in First Maccabees 1, man. And I'll close the video out. I don't want to make this too long, but I was reading this the other day, and you got Jake that want to be around these heathen and want to hang out, like young Jake that died, going in the water with them devils. You know what I'm saying, man? You gotta understand your enemy. Scripture say never trust that enemy, for his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. He looking to overthrow you, man. Nigga they don't like you. Don't give a fuck how many pictures they take of you, how many pictures they take with you. You know what I'm saying? How many times they say, oh, no, we're different. Man, they ain't different. That spirit ain't different. You niggas, you should know better, man. Hanging out with these motherfucking heathens, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got to. Obviously you got bros that work around them and all that, but at the end of the day, man, the Lord is with bros, man. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Bros know how to move. Bros know what's going on. Bros ain't, bros know how to move. Scriptures say be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So when we around these nations, we know how to deal. You know what I'm saying? We know how to, yiquab our way in and out of situations, man. But these niggas in the world, they don't know that. They don't know. That's why it's power in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? They give you it give you instruction, sound instruction and wisdom and jewels that you need in this place. That you need. Not that, that you need. It's important. Okay? First Maccabees 1. And and all Jake ain't gonna get it. That's why Jake ended up in the situations like that. If he had any wisdom, you know what I'm saying, and he was watching videos and he was, you know what I'm saying, listening to bros and all, he would know better. This First Maccabees 1 and 20. I'm gonna jump around because it's kind of long. I can read all of it, but I'll jump around and get some points, and then I'll close the video out. This is First Maccabees 1 and 20. It says, and after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light, that all the vessels thereof. Okay, it says in the table of showbread, in the pouring vessels, in the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. They went in there and ransacked the temple. You know what I'm saying? Like, who? Come on, man. like, like they don't have no respect or no reverence for the Lord. They don't have that. They don't think like that. They're not wired that way. They don't have a zeal. You know what I'm saying? They don't think. These are lawless enemies, man, who do crazy shit. First Maccabees 1:22. It says, in the table of showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and a crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. Yeah, he went in there and did wicked, because he is wicked. Okay. Look, does this sound like a person that fear the Lord, that reverence the Lord, that have any respect? No, it don't. Okay. Would you be around a person like this? Nah, this is in their spirit, Holmes. Okay. It says, and when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. Okay. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. Okay. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's see this. Let's just see what this says real quick. There were several rulers named Antisalak. This is a man. The chapter describes him as a king who expanded his empire and then turned against Jerusalem and the Jewish people. Here is a summary of what First Maccabees 1 says about him. He became king of the Syrian Empire after the division of Alexander the Great's empire. It says he defeated Egypt in military campaigns. He entered Jerusalem and arrogantly entered the temple, which we just read. He took many of the temple's sacred items, including the golden altar, the lampstand, the table of showbread, the table for the bread of the presence, and other holy vessels. It says he later sent officials who attacked Jerusalem, killed many people, and plundered the city. He built a fortress called the Acra in Jerusalem and stationed soldiers there. He issued decrees requiring everyone in his kingdom to follow one religion. And you notice that with these devils, man. They always want to on some Tower of Babel shit, one nation under God. No. Well, that's not biblical. You know what I'm saying? That's not, the Lord has a favorite people, and his favorite people are Israelites, the true biblical Israelites. Okay? Not everybody. Okay? It says he forbade the Jews from keeping the law of Moses, observing the Sabbath, offering traditional sacrifices, and circumcising their sons. You think a Lord want a person like this, man? You think the Lord want a person like this? You think mercy is coming to a person like this, man? Like, come on, man. He ordered pagan altars and idols to be set up throughout the land. He erected the abomination of desolation upon the altar in Jerusalem. First Maccabees 1:1. 54 says anyone who refuses commands could be put to death. Goodness. It says the chapter ends by contrasting two groups of Jews. Some abandoned the law and adopted Greek customs, niggas. Right, and that's why it's important to go into, you got to go into the history to understand the New Testament, to understand, that it was Gentiles, man. To understand who the Gentiles were. You got Jakes that was already being Hellenized in that time, before the New Testament, okay? It says others remained faithful. Others remained faithful to the Most High despite persecution. Okay, let's read some more. It says, we go to 28. It says the land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. And this is a well-known infamous tactic that these devils do. It's just in them, man. It's just in them. Can't change it. You think the Lord want a person like this, man? Stop it. Stop it. That's why they don't your pastor won't get into the history, man, because it get ugly. Then you have to figure out, well, who was Antiochus? What people did he come from? And this and that. Ooh. Right? It says, for when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. Come on. And these are not ordinary people. These are children of the Lord that he did this to. He went in the temple and saw what was going on. These are the children of the Lord. He wanted his rule to be over the Lord's rule. And that's what Esau ultimately wants. Right? That's why he coming with the CHIP, coming with this whole little, this technology, the technology, this system and all that, because he wants to be God, but he's not. This is a base man. You know what I'm saying? But, pride to deceive your ass. And to think, you see what happened to Nebuchadnezzar II? Pride to deceive you, man. Okay? Got your ass turned to a beast. The mind of a beast. Till you acknowledged the Lord. Okay? And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and the walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them. It says, and they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. It says they stored it also with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. It says, for it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Let me ask a question real quick. Let me see something. Do any other nation as bad as he did Israel in that time? No. So no. Right? It says Israel received uniquely intense religious persecution under Antiochus Epiphanes. It says Antiochus fought wars against other nations, especially Egypt, and he conquered territories throughout his empire, but there is no comparable historical record that he tried to completely eradicate another people's religion in the same way he targeted the Jews. Come on, man. It says what made Israel different was that Antiochus specifically tried to destroy their covenant with the Most High. This is bro. This is the enemy. This is the mind of the enemy. Read Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, man. Okay? It says banning circumcision, forbidding Sabbath observance, burning and confiscating copies of the law, forcing people to eat foods forbidden by the law, requiring sacrifices to Greek gods, defiling the temple in Jerusalem by dedicating it to Zeus and offering unclean sacrifices, executing those who refused to obey. This nigga was evil, man. They all are evil, wicked. Said his goal was not just political control, it was to replace the worship of the Most High power of Israel with Greek religion and culture. Did not America try to do the same thing? But it was that cluster that was kept that got the truth. And the truth is here. And it's exposing all you devils. And it's exposing your rulership. And prophecy is that this place is going to be destroyed, man. And there's going to come a kingdom that should never be overthrown, where the Israelites are going to rule. And it's a specific order in that. But ultimately, all Israel will be right. Okay? And we will have dominion over the heathen. And you guys will be in subjection. Just like it says in Isaiah, the second chapter. And then eventually, after Esau getting done serving, you will be, extinct. You will be no longer. As it says in the book of Obadiah. That nigga's evil, man. Goodness gracious. It says, 37, it says, thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it. They shed an innocent blood. Come on, man. It says, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all shall be one people, and everyone shall leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. And when you niggas do wrong, right, and you niggas, you know what I'm saying, you understand the frustration, because look at it. Look at the root of it. Okay? Look at the root of it, man. Okay? It says, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. It says, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, man. It says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Right? So when you niggas, do wickedly and you niggas talk shit, especially niggas in the world, you know what I'm saying, and you niggas, oh man, ooh, and you run your mouth and you do after this heathen, just understand that this is the same devil. You're doing things according to the devil's plan. You're doing what he wants you to do. Dumbass niggas. You know what? And you're going to continue to do what he wants you to do until your ass is destroyed right along with him. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, me and my household are saved up out of that. And Lord willing, you bros, you sister Akim, you and your households are delivered and saved about that as well. Because we understand what's coming. It's the same spirit, right? But even worse, it's finna be on these devils, man. Okay, and if you ain't got the Lord in that day, woo-wee. Lord willing, Lord willing, me and my household is delivered and saved. And the Lord have mercy on us. And Lord willing, the Lord have mercy on you sincere bros, and your house is delivered and saved out of the times to come, man. But you niggas, 2/3 of you niggas, oh, man. boy, y'all got something coming. Okay? Hey, so with that, man, loading video was edifying, lonely Akim. Got something from this video. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kakadash, and Turbulence.